Having access to medication is one of your basic needs. That's why healthcare is one of the largest industries worldwide. Your medicine can essentially be produced anywhere, but the chances that the key ingredients of your medicine are produced in China are high. How has China managed to achieve this market position, and why can this be a huge risk for the rest of the world, even though the ingredients are cheap and safe? We'll give you an insight in this video. In case you are new to this channel, my name is Ammar and I'm the CEO of Pharmaoffer. It's an online marketplace for buyers and sellers of pharmaceutical ingredients. About 30% of the qualified suppliers on our platform are Chinese, but 1 or 2 decades ago they weren't as dominant as they are today. The history. I'll take you back to the year 2000. The era that we were still playing Snake on the Nokia 3310. China was still quite isolated from the international trade. With the world's largest population, the Chinese pharmaceutical industry was mainly supplying their own people. According to analysis performed by the WHO, the government directed their economy from a century plan to a more market-based economy. The government made special industrial zones dedicated to the production plants. Besides that, they offered other incentives, such as low land prices and improved infrastructure to support the pharmaceutical manufacturers. As a result, the market grew rapidly. Chinese pharmaceutical manufacturers have focused on the production of intermediates, which are basically the raw materials of an API, and the actual APIs themselves, which is the part of the medicine that's responsible for the healing effect. We made a video about APIs. We'll put a link in the description in case you haven't seen it. The Chinese pharmaceutical manufacturing sector began to play a large role in the global market supply. Business was going well and they were selling to many countries, but then a new obstacle occurred. Quality. Many Chinese manufacturers were facing troubles in terms of quality and safety and started to receive non-compliance reports and warning letters from the European Medicines Agency and the FDA. It didn't just affect the international business, but also for the domestic market, the quality standard proved to be insufficient. The Chinese government reformed the regulatory framework in the pharmaceutical market. In 2015, President Xi demanded to set the highest quality standard of the world in order to have the most strict drug regulation. They reformed the NMPA, formerly known as the CFDA, who are responsible for the public health of the mainland of China. The rise of China. China continued their export growth. Over the years, they had taken the position from India as the largest API exporter in the world, with substantially lower production costs because of their large-scale production zones, government incentives and worse working conditions than other countries. China was able to export APIs cheaper than any other supplier in the world. In doing so, many of their competitors in the USA and Europe were put out of competition and were forced to close their doors. Even India, being one of the largest medicine production countries, was not able to meet the Chinese API prices, which is in some cases 20 to 30% cheaper. Today, India relies on China for about 70% of its API supply. For some APIs like paracetamol, amoxicillin and ibuprofen, they are almost entirely dependent on China. China is providing the world with what they are looking for, cheap APIs that comply with their qualifications. What's wrong with cheap APIs? There's nothing wrong with affordable APIs, but in my opinion, a monopoly such as China has is not desirable. As the largest API producer on the planet, China has become the pharma ruler of the world. Do you remember the beginning of the COVID-19 virus in January 2020? The entire Wuhan area was in lockdown. Fortunately, China was able to minimize delivery delays because there was enough stock. But what happened if the 2 months of lockdown was extended with an additional couple of months? That's why a monopoly is not desirable. We need to have a backup production location in other parts of the world for scenarios such as this one. Another reason why a monopoly on APIs is tricky is political dominance. When you know that other countries are dependent on you for the health of their people, you can increase the price or threaten with an export ban in a political negotiation. We've seen it happen already. While most politicians in other countries were sleeping, China has managed to become the global pharma leader. China is now focusing more on finished formulations and research and development, since they have larger margins than APIs. They can take market share from India here, but unlike India, in general most Chinese manufacturers do not have enough staff with sufficiently strong English skills. The future. The coronavirus has woken up some politicians. They've realized that even though they were down on their knees begging, they were placed at the end of the queue since the whole world was looking for the same pharmaceuticals. Countries are considering to reopen production facilities and to become self-sufficient again. The European Union and the USA are looking for solutions to tackle these scenarios in the future. The Indian government announced plans to open 3 bulk drug industrial parks to support the manufacturing of 53 critical APIs to reduce dependency on China. In conclusion, the next couple of years will teach us whether countries throughout the world will have managed to become more self-sufficient. It will of course take time to build API plants and to get inspected by all necessary authorities. China has done a great job in the supply of low-cost medicines. More cooperation between China and the rest of the world would make the global population healthier. I'm curious, do you think your government is doing enough in order to secure independency when it comes to pharmaceuticals? Thanks for watching the video. I hope you've liked it. We have more videos like this one in the playlist that's in the description below. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see our future videos as soon as they are released. And you should also follow us on LinkedIn. Thanks for watching. Tot ziens.